right, let's get to it here. This is a CNN story. Early on in the show, I've mentioned boomerang employees, and this is referring to people who have left one place, company ABC. They go to a company XYZ, and it's not what they thought, or it's not what they wanted, or they realized, oof, I got some buyer's remorse. Gee whiz, I sure would like to come back home, right? It's the old, I want to live on my own, Mom and Dad. And so Mom and Dad go, all right, Sparky, go get yourself an apartment. And the kid's in the apartment for 3 or 4 months, and life hits them, and they go, I'm not ready. I'd like to come back home. That's what's going on. In March, a record 4.5 million people quit their jobs. Folks, the Great Resignation continues. We're now over 30 million people have changed their jobs since August of 2022, when this thing really started heating up. And really, you look at the summer, of August of 2021. And so if you look at the summer of 2021, things really started to heat back up in many parts of the country. And keep in mind, folks, that before the pandemic, so in February of 2020, I was on this show talking daily about the fact that we had more jobs available than we had people unemployed. So we were about 3.8% unemployment in February of 2020, and now here we sit 3.6% unemployment. And so we were talking as a team, and I want to point something out. We were talking in our content meeting last week, I believe, about this gap. We keep hearing about it. Companies have a hard time finding people because we have, again, let's just make this up, I'm making this up for round numbers. We got 10 million jobs available. We're somewhere in that range. And we have 8.2 million, 8.3 million, 8.1 million people unemployed. So there's a gap. More jobs than there are people who are looking for jobs. Okay. And so we were talking about this, and I pointed this out to our team, and I want to point it out to you. This is not a problem. Okay. This is not a societal economic problem. It is a nuisance for companies. But let's be very careful for us to understand that this is first of all, it's great for you, the people, because it is a job seeker's market. However, this is a sign of a healthy capitalistic society. A healthy capitalistic society will have a large percentage of it coming from the entrepreneurial ventures. So in any healthy capitalistic society, you will have new entrepreneurs essentially starting something new every day. And as a result, you will and should have, in a healthy economy, more jobs available than you have people that are employed. Okay? So let's understand that this isn't a bad thing. So you hear people talking about it. Well, it is a nuisance for leaders and companies, and leaders are going to have to figure out what their competitive advantage is. And I'm going to tell you this. Hey, leaders, hey, companies, if you start taking care of the people you have, you'll never have to worry about getting the people you need. Ooh, that's a mic drop. We'll leave that there and get back to that some other time. So here's the story. Millions and millions and millions of people changing jobs, but more and more people are experiencing buyer's remorse. They jump ship, got a higher paycheck, which by the way, on the surface, the bigger paycheck seems like it's a no-brainer until the bigger paycheck high wears off. Then we're in a new place that may not be as healthy as the old place. We're in a new place where they told us we want you to do this job, but you're not doing that job. We're in a new place that showed a lot of potential promise, got me maybe closer to my sweet spot or in my sweet spot, but the people are jerks. The boss is a jerk. Or the boss is just a horrible leader. Good person, bad leader. Happens all the time. In fact, most bad leaders are in some ways good people. They just don't know how to lead. So, all of a sudden, the reality comes crashing down. The grass is not greener. I'd like to go home. Could I please come home, Mom and Dad? And that's what's happening. They're reaching out going, hey, reaching out to their old boss. Certainly these are people who left well. Keep in mind. And so here's another little commercial of content as we dive into this. Leaving well matters. You may not think it matters. It matters. And you ask these Boomerang employees if leaving well matters, and they'd go, oh, baby, does it matter? But you young people out there who've grown up with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all the other things, and you just ghost people for a living. I mean, these stinking kids they spend all their time on Snapchat. The whole concept of Snapchat is ghosting. I send you a message and then poof, it's gone. Isn't that true? It's the whole thing. Thank you, Alex. I'm so 47. The entire logo of Snapchat is a ghost. This is what social media has done. I can ignore you. I can gaslight you, but from a distance. No consequences to our actions, at least we don't think. But these people who left, they don't want to come back. They left well because they are being taken back, some of them. So the story goes into 3 different profiles. Here's the takeaway. A big chunk of people missed interacting with people. They took a job that was highly remote because they thought during the pandemic, that's what I want. So they took a job that was, I get to control my time. It's very remote. They miss people. That was one big takeaway. Not the right timing. They took the opportunity. It was the right paycheck, but it wasn't the right timing for them. And they realized it. They jumped too quickly. And number 3, some people said, you know what? I made a move for a paycheck, but I'm going back because the career growth, the ladder that you hear me talk about all the time, the ladder for growth, it was at the old place. And so they're returning. Now, here's what's interesting. As I read the story, they profiled 3 people in the story. Here's what's interesting, Alex. All 3 of the people they profiled in this article who are successful boomerangers, meaning they left company ABC, go to XYZ, and they get a chance to return to ABC. And they did it. All 3, there was a relationship component. They did it out of relationship. We long to belong. Folks, there's a reason why I wrote the book, Paycheck to Purpose. Paycheck wears off. And in our purpose is relational desires as well.